Ready? Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Sadvatam savadhutam Parijana sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindha Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyan Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurabha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya yato anvayaditiratas Chartha subhigya swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Mayanti Yat Suraya Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakvakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Swasti astu vishvasya khalaha prasidatam Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitho dhiya Manasya bhadram bhajata dadhokshaje Aveshyatam no matirapya hetuki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 81, verse number 34. So we read how Sudama, he returned to his place which turned into a palace, and he was astonished to see. He wondered where has he arrived, and then he understood that this is his place. And then his people came to receive him and his wife came, and then he is reflecting on this whole situation, that how Krishna is so gracious that even without asking, he has given so much opulence to him. So now he is continuing to reflect. Nanu abhruvano dishate samaksham yachishnave bhuri api bhuri bhoja parjanyavat tat swayam ikshvano दासार है कानाम ऋषभ सखा में. So Dasaharkanam Rishabha me Sakha. The best of the Dasarha, my friend, how is he? Abruvano Dishate. He gives, but he doesn't say that he is giving. Generally, when people give some charity, then they want to be known that they have given it. They want some praise, recognition, name, that he is so much charitable person. But Krishna is gave without saying anything, without even telling the person to whom he is giving that he is giving. And samaksham yachishvanave bhuri api bhuri bhoja. So he is bhuri bhoja, he has a lot of objects of enjoyment, lot of wealth, and he gives to one who asks him. And he says that he is parjanyavat tatsvayam ikshamano dasara. So he himself sees and then gives. It's like a rain cloud who may be raining at night when you are sleeping. So you don't know that it is raining. So like that, Krishna is also giving, because he gave at night when the wife was sleeping. It's only in the morning that she realized that she is a different person. So like that, he is also rain cloud. And Swamikshmano Dasarhakanam. So seeing himself what is needed, he gives, but does not say anything about it. पुरुषोत्तम जी महाराज क्या बोलना?
And just one little information I would give you that the distance between Porbandar, where Sudama was living in nearby, is 105 kilometers approximately. So it will take him at least 4 to 5 days to walk through the Dwarka.
No, not.
It's very amazing.
Cannot be 4 to 5 days.
Well,
Govardhan.
only walk 20-30 kilometers. You don't walk,
People do Govardhan Parikrama in 4 or 5 hours, and that is how many kilometers? 20?
Yeah, but once they do 20 kilometers, but then what is the next thing? They don't, after that they are tired. They can do anything.
But in the olden days, people could do 40 kilometers a day.
Okay, well, you show me something. So even if it's 40 hours, it still takes 3 days basically.
And in Dwapar, people were taller. So
You keep giving your reason again.
so at least 50 kilometers.
He didn't have any food or anything. He was just walking.
Yeah, he ate nicely and walked 50 kilometers.
Where did he eat nicely? Returning back, yes, but going.
He had a good breakfast and he took some packed lunch. Krishna, you think you will not give him some food? So he gave him some malpua. Can eat on the way.
Yes, on return journey, that is fine. On visiting Dwarka,
No, he gave him thepla.
Gujarati thepla.
Yeah. That's when they were invented.
It's amazing that he walked that much.
Okay, so commentary on this. So, Nanu Nischayana Me Sakha Sri Krishna. So the word Nanu is many times used when you want to put a doubt, ask a question, but here Nanu is used in the sense of certainty. So Me Sakha Sri Krishna Samaksham Abruvana Eva Yachashnave Yachkai Bhuri Api Bhavu Api Deshate Dadati. That Sri Krishna gives a lot to a person who begs him, but without saying anything. That is his nature. Yato bhuri bhojaha bhau bhagavan. Why? Because he has so much plenty he can give and he is not looking for any credit. Atah parjanyavat tat sarvam pranijatam sasmayam ikshmanasan avilashatam lashitam dadati. So like a rain cloud, he gives to everybody because he sees whatever is required, then he gives that much. As he says, yatha mam prapadyante tam tathai bhajamyam. Yatha parjanya samaksham bahuapi varsham alpameva manyamanyo ratrau karshake, or must be krashake, nidrane sati asamaksham takshetram jalairaplavayati. So he said, just like the cloud may rain little in the daytime, but at night when the farmer is sleeping, then he pours a lot of water on the field. Evam Sri Krishna opi tathaiva karoti. Sri Krishna also acts in the same way. Dasa harkanam yadavanam shrestha. He is the best among the Dasaraha, which means Yadavas. So he is basically feeling very grateful to Sri Krishna that how wonderful he is. Kinchit karoti uriyapi yat swadattam suhat kritam falgo api bhurikari mayo punita prithuaika mushtim pratyagrihit priti yuto mahatma. So priti yuto mahatma pratyagrihit. So that great person, Sri Krishna, he accepted just one handful of flat rice from me, and which were brought by me, and he gives so much. So kinchit karoti urvapi yat swadattam. What he gives himself is a lot, but he considers that to be very insignificant. And suhit kritam falgo api bhurikari. But if the friend does something even a very little, then he considers that to be a lot. So when he gives a lot, but he thinks it's very little. When someone else gives him, then he takes in a little thing to be great. And he himself is the example of that, because all he brought was some dry flat rice. So he took one handful and he gave so much. And that also he is not thinking that he has given enough. Probably he wanted to give more. So that is the nature of him. So this is what is called Mahavadanya. Uru api bahu api swadattam mahamahim mahyam idrish aswaryam kinchit karoti alpam manyate. So he gives a lot, but he considers this to be very little, like this type of Aishwarya which he has given me. He does not think that this is a lot. And Sruhido madvidhasya falguvati tuchchamapi vastu bhurikari bahumanyate. And the friend like me who brings some useless thing, falgu means worthless. Vairagyam falgu katyate. Says falgu vairagya means useless renunciation. Worthless thing is called, what you call faltu in Hindi. Is considered, this is a Sanskrit word falgu. So atituchha means very petty, insignificant, no value. So that he considers a lot. Yato maya ityadi. So just like what I brought for him was just a flat rice, but then he thinks it to be so much. Tassaiv me sauhrida sakhya maitri dasyam punarjanmani janmani syat Mahanubhaven gunalayena visajjatastat purushat prasangaha. So now he is expressing his wish for future, what he wants. So this is the heart of a devotee, how we see devotees and Nyabhilashita Sunyam. That absolutely no other wish. So he says that all I want is Taseva me Swahid Sakhya Maitri Dasyam Punarjanmani Janmani Syat. He says, let birth after birth I may have Swahid, intimacy, Sakhya, friendship, Maitri, companionship, comradeship with him, and also Dasyam, servitorship. So this is what he is wishing. Mahanubhavena gunalayena visajjata, being very much attached to the great person who is the abode of all good qualities. And Tatpurusha Prasanga, and let me have association with his devotees. So this is what he is aspiring for. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagdish kamaya, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahit kitvai. So it's similar type of prayer that I only want is bhakti. So that's what he has, dasyam. And friendship because they are friends. So he's not desiring moksha, he's not desiring any wealth, name and fame, followers, none of these things. Otherwise, imagine someone meets Krishna, then he wants everyone to be known that he met Krishna. Or somebody has darshan of Bhagavan, then he wants people who don't have it, they want to be known that they have had darshan. So here he had direct darshan and friendship, but he is not in any desire for propaganda or anything like that. Tasyeva etadrish bhaktavatsalasya srahidam sneha. So there are three words used here, Sahrida, then Sakhya, and then Maitri. So generally they were all translated as friendship, but they have some subtle difference, so he is commenting on that. So Sahrida means Sneha, means affection. It comes from the word Suhida, means Shobhan Hirdaya, means good heart. So I want heart-to-heart relationship with him, affectionate relationship, prema. Or Nirupadhi Hitkari, trying to do good to the other. Sakhyam Sahavasthai Tvamaya Pranaya. Pranaya also means affection, love, but what kind? That we have companionship. That's what Sakhya is, to be together, eating, playing. And Maitri is Bandhu Bhava. Maitri is that softness of the heart for someone. So that is Bandhu Bhava. And Dasyam Seva, and I want to do Seva. All this is not for my enjoyment, but for to do service. Tesam Dandakyam, this is Dandak Samas. Manubhavena Tenaiva Visajjata. While being very much affectionate or attached to him. Visishta Sangam Prapnuvato. So Visajjata means Asakti. But there should be no other attachment, no other desire. And Tad Bhaktesu Prasanga Syat. And I should have association of his devotees. So that's all he is wishing, nothing else. Bhaktaya Chitra Bhagavan hi Sampado Rajyam Vibhutirna Samarthayatyajaha adhirgabodhaya vichakshunaya swayam pashyan nipatam dhaninam madodbhavam. He says that those devotees who are not very intelligent, not visionary, Bhagavan, he does not give wonderful wealth to them. So Rajyam or kingdom or some other opulence, he does not approve of that for Adirgha Bodhaya. Those whose wisdom is not very deep, to such devotees he does not give. Why? Because he knows that wealth will enter into their head and they'll become proud and then they'll fall down. Nipatam dhaninam madodbhavam. So it happens many times. You see people, they are poor, then they work hard, they get money. Once they get money, then they become very proud. They want to show off. Then they insult others and act in a very insolently manner. So Sudama is not like that, but he is saying that I am also Adirgha Bodha. And therefore Bhagavan doesn't give me, although he has given him, but he thinks, why is giving me this? I can fall down. So out of humility he is thinking, he doesn't want to become proud because of this wealth. Nanu tav bhaktirasti eva tat phalam sampattisya prapta. If someone tells Sudama that you are a devotee, you have devotion, and as a result of your bhakti, you have got sampatti, wealth. So then he says, Tatra nasti me bhaktir napi bhakti bhaktir vastavam phalam sampatti. He says, no, I don't have bhakti, and moreover wealth is not the fruit of bhakti. Bhakti is not that. Bhakti is meant there for becoming rich. Sampadaha koshadin. Sampada means treasury or physical wealth. Rajyam ashwaryam. Rajyam means power to control others. Vibhuti kalatradin. Vibhuti means good wife, children, etc. So na samardhyati na dadati. So Krishna doesn't give that. To whom he does not give? Adirgha bodhaya. Those who are not very wise people. Means those who cannot digest wealth, he does not give them. He is like a good doctor. So good doctor does not prescribe good, like fancy diet to the patient if he knows that patient cannot digest it. He says just take boiled vegetables and don't eat pakoras and chocolate. So he doesn't give. So he's like that. So dirgbodebhya praladadi bhaktebhyo yadiya sampado api dadati tatrapi tesam napkar. But those who are wise devotees who can handle wealth, to them he gives wealth also. So don't become scared. Many times people immediately become scared that Krishna is going to take away your wealth, as if he is hungry for it, as if he doesn't have wealth himself. So if he takes away that, he is doing favor to us. He's taking away something which is blocking our progress in devotion. Not that he wants to give us trouble. Therefore he gives wealth also to people like Prahlad Maharaj. Even Dhruva, he gave them. So Sampada Api Dadati, and by this he's not doing anything wrong with them, or it's not that he's not doing welfare. Mamatu adirg bodhasya bhaktiya bhava deva samprati sampat prapti rabhut tadalam aniya. but I am not a very wise person, but he has given me this, so this is not good for me. Therefore I don't want it. So he is not enjoying this wealth, although he got so much wealth, but he is not used to it. So it's not that he immediately got into big enjoyment. He was probably still eating flat rice, sitting on fancy seat, golden plate, but food may be very simple, because he is used to simple things. So mamatu adirgha bodhasya. So out of humility he is calling himself as not intelligent. Bhakti abhava, then I don't have bhakti. Therefore sampat prapti abhut tadalamanya. Therefore this wealth which I have got is not good for me. Vimrisya sa yavadartham eva vishya bhogam karvan sthandil sai tadiya vrat nishtha Shravan Kirtanadisu Paramagrahan Abhutiti Gayam. So therefore, knowing this very well and thinking in this manner that I am not a devotee, I am not very smart, so he did not enjoy the wealth. Therefore he did not sleep on the big fancy bed, he was sleeping on the ground. At night when all the servants left his room, then he will come down from the bed and sleep on the floor. Sthandila Sai. And he was fully absorbed in devotional activities, vratas, and Shravan Kirtanadisu Paramagrahan. So engaged in hearing about Krishna, doing kirtan. Bhaktaya sukhaitum sampadadikam न ददाति न समर्धयति न सम्यक वर्धयति किंतु तदभीप्सित प्रेम सेवा सिद्धि अर्थम ईशन मात्रम वर्धयति इति केचिदाहु वृद्धो वर्धे. So some people say that the meaning is that he doesn't give wealth so that the person doesn't get lost in it. But if he gives so that he can engage this in service. Because to do bhakti, to do seva, especially if you have deities, then you need some wealth. So he gives for that reason. So then he is not restricting himself. Itham vyavasito buddhya Bhaktotiv Janardane Vishayan Jaya Tyakshan Bhuje Nati Lampataha. So, making this kind of resolve with his intelligence, he who was very much devoted to Janardana, Sri Krishna, he lived in the midst of that opulence without any attachment to it. Vishyan Jaya Takshan. So with his wife he stayed. Bhujai Nati Lampata. Lampata means who is very much absorbed in enjoyment, is called Lampata. So he was not like that. Tasya vai deva devasya harer yagyapate prabhoho Brahmana Prabhu Devam Natebhyo Vidyate Param. He is saying that Sri Krishna is Deva. He is worshipable of Devas. And he is Hari. He is Yagyapati, he is the Lord of Yagya. And he is Master Prabhu. But he accepts Brahmanas as his master and Deva. So Brahmana Prabhu Devam Natebhyo Vidyate Param. So therefore there is nobody higher than Brahmanas. Because Krishna himself respects them more than anyone else. Bhaktavatsalasya pi Krishnasya esha Brahmanita eva loke prasiddha bhut ityaha. That although Krishna is very affectionate to his devotees, but in the world he became very famous as devoted to Brahmanas more than devotees. So with that he says, Sarvesham Prabhorapi Harer Brahmana eva Prabhu. That although he is the master of everybody, but he accepts Brahmanas as his master. Devadevasya pitasya Brahmana eva devam. And although he is the Deva of the Devas, he is the worshipable of even the gods, but he accepts Brahmanas as his worshipable. Yajnapaterapit eva yajniya. And although he is the Lord of the Yajna, where you worship Devas, he accepts them only as the people to be worshipped in the Yajna. Evam sa vipro bhagavat sruhitada drishtva samrittairajitam parajitam tadhyana vegod granthitaatma bandhna tadhama lebhe achirta satam gatim. So in this way that Brahmana, who was very dear friend of Bhagavan, he saw that Sri Krishna, who is Ajita, he becomes defeated by his own servants. And then intensely meditating on Krishna in this way, he cut asunder all the knots of bondage, and then very quickly he attained the supreme destination. Means he attained Krishna's abode. Tasya ahiki sampadam uktva parlaukikim sampadam ahevamiti. So Sukadeva Goswami described the opulence which Sudama had here in this world, and then next he describes the opulence which he attained in the next world. Sarvairajitam api svabhrittai parajitam vashikritam. Although Krishna is unconquerable, nobody can conquer him, but he becomes subdued by his own servants. So that is the power of seva or bhakti. That bhakti controls, conquers even a person who cannot be conquered by anybody. Drishtanta dhyanena iti tasya purvavritti muktam. So his dhyan, how he was meditating, and the example that how he becomes controlled is to show his own story, that actually he became controlled by Sudama. So this is the end of this chapter. Iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakta chetsam ekashiti tamodhyayo dasme ajani sangata. So that's a nice chapter about Krishna and Sudama and their friendship.
So the commentary on the verse number 34 that you read, here in my edition it is, in the edition I have, it is labeled as Sridhar Swamis and not as Vishwanathas. So I don't know if there's time, maybe you could, and in case you have that other commentary, maybe you could read that also.
34?
Yes, on 34 here. So how it starts here in
But
the...
Sridhar Swami has a different commentary.
Okay.
Nanu chedavalokan matrena mayadashvarim datta tubhyam maya dattam iti kim navachodat yaha nanu iti. No, it's not his. Sridhar Swami is completely different.
Okay, then maybe here it's something messed up in this file that I have. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Yeah.
Babaji, probably I missed. Did you read the verse 41? Did you read verse 41?
I did not read.
Or no, the verse
Okay.
Etad Brahmanya Devasya.
Okay, yeah, there is one more. Etad brahmanya devasya shrutva brahmanyatam naraha labdha bhavo bhagavati karam bandhat vimuchyate. So falshruti is there. So etad brahmanya devasya shrutva brahmanyatam naraha. Person who hears the story of Krishna, who is Brahmanya Deva, who accepts Brahmanas as the Devas, and the story describing how he has so much devotion for the Brahmanas, he attains bhakti to Bhagavan and becomes free from the bondage of karma. So this is the falashruti, this is the benefit of hearing this story. There is no comment on it. So chapter number 82. So this chapter describes they are going to Kurukshetra. Sri Shuka Vacha Athaikada Dvaravattyam Vasto Ramakrishnayoho Suryo Paraga Sumahanasit Kalpakshaye Yatha. So once when Ramakrishna, Balram and Krishna, they were living in Dwarka, it was time for solar eclipse. And it was some big solar eclipse, the type of eclipse that seems that happens at the end of Kalpa, day of Brahma. So Ravi Grahe Kurukshetre Bandhunam Sangamo Mitha Krishno Vrajastha Premabdho Dvashiti Tama Apluta. So in the 82nd chapter there is a description how there was festival of solar eclipse at Kurukshetra, where Krishna went and all his relatives from different places, Hastinapura, Braj, they came, and especially he met the people from Braja and completely drowned in their love. Now he writes a little bit of timeline. When did this happen? Because it is not in the same order as it is being described. The stories are not in a chronological order. We have already seen that. Swatha kramanukta kathantara arambhe ekda iti. So he says that at the beginning of story, this atha describes that it is some other katha but not in the order. So ekda seems to indicate that Baldeva Vraja Gamna Durdhvam Rajsuyat Purvameva Kurukshetra Yatra. So he said that this journey to Kurukshetra that Krishna took, it happened when after Balram has visited Vraja. But it was before the Rajasuya Yajna. That means it was before Pandavas went into the exile by losing in the gambling match. It is before that and after Baldev's visit, which means Uddhava and Baldev both had already come to Vraja. And then they went Kurukshetra. So it was not much after Krishna had left Vraja. Yadasyam Dhritarashtra Vidura Yudhishthira Bhishma Dronadinam Sukham Ekatra Avasthitanam Sri Krishna Darshana Ananda Katha Drishyate. Why he says like that? What is the reason? What is the proof? He says because here in Kurukshetra Yatra he meets Dhritarashtra, Vidura, Yudhishthira, Bhishma, Dronacharya. They all were together and Krishna meets them. They had darshan of Krishna and felt very blissful. So this description is being given. So now, if it was after the Rajasuya, then it will not be possible, because after Rajasuya there was a gambling match immediately, and they went into forest. And once they came back, then there was Kurukshetra war. And then these people were killed. Bhishma was not there, Drona was not there. So therefore it is not possible that it is after Rajasuya Yagya. That's what he's saying. Asya yatraya Rajasuya anantaryatvetu evam na sambhavet. He says, if this journey of Krishna to Kurukshetra happened after Rajasuya Yagya, then this is not possible that he could meet Bhishma, etc., Dhritarashtra. Yato Rajasuyanantaram eva manyugrastena duryodhanena dyuta pravartanam. Because right after Rajasuya, Duryodhana, who was very angry and upset because feeling insulted and also due to jealousy, he arranged for the dyut, the gambling match. Tato vanparva drishtya salva danta vaktra vad samkalam eva yudhishthradinam vangamnam. And then according to Vanparva part of Mahabharata, when Salva, Dantvakra, these people were killed, then these people went into forest. Because Krishna went to Rajasuya Yagya, he killed his Shashupal. After that only Salva came and attacked, and then Dantvakra, then Viduratha. So they were killed. When Krishna was busy fighting with them, it is during this time that this gambling happened and they went into exile. So that's why it says some kalam eva yudhishthradinam vangamnam. So their entering into the forest happened when Krishna was busy fighting with Salva, etc. And then he came to Vraja for 2 months. Because later on Krishna meets them, or at least according to Mahabharata. At that time they were already in exile. Krishna went and met them in the exile. Tesham agamanam anantaram eva Bhishma Dronadi vad maya bharat yuddham. Once they returned, there was no chance of any Kurukshetra journey, because then they were preparing for battle and Krishna had gone for a messenger. So all this happened. Then there was a war, and in the war at least Bhishma fell down, Dronacharya was killed, and Vidura was already on a journey because he was insulted by Duryodhana. So there will be no possibility of meeting them if it was after Rajasuya Yagya. Sri Vaishnav Toshini Kalpakshaye Yatha Sarvagrasa Ityartha. So this logic which he is giving, this is given by Jiva Goswami in Vaishnav Toshini. He is summarizing that. And the word Kalpakshaye Yatha Sarvagrasa says this solar eclipse was complete solar eclipse. It was some very special one. Tam gyatva manujarajan purastadeva sarvatah samanta panchakam kshetram yayu shreyo viditsaya. So when this was known to people that there is going to be a solar eclipse, then people from all over India assembled at Kurukshetra beforehand. And this area is called Samanta Panchaka. So why they came here? Shreyo Viditsaya, to earn some merit, some punya karma. So these are periods where you can attain some punya. Samanta Panchakam Kurukshetram. Samanta Panchak refers to Kurukshetra. Surya Prage Khalu Asya Kshetrasya Sarvata Sakashadapi Punya Pradatva Adhikya Shravnaditi Bhava. So why did they go there and not elsewhere? Solar eclipse was also wherever they were living. So he says it is described that and during solar eclipse there is special punya you can attain if you take dip in the Samanta Panchaka lake which was created by Parsuram. So Parsuram is the one who has made this. He says this here in the next sloka. Nikshatriyam mahim kurvan rama shastra bhitambara nirpanam rudhroghena yatta chakre mahahardan. So there are supposed to be 5 lakes there which were built by Parsuram when he was killing the Kshatriyas. So he made these 5 lakes from the blood of the Kshatriyas because he wanted to make Kshatriyas, this earth devoid of Kshatriyas. So that means he was gathering them there and chopping off their heads. What was he doing? He was not carrying blood. So they were all killed there. So he killed so many people. Now there was a pool of blood. Very special person. But he is Parshuram. So he says Rudiraughena Chakra, he made the lakes full of blood. Kshetrasya Sri Parshuram Parakrama Dyotkatva Maha. He says this area describes the valor of Parshuram, how he wanted to make the earth devoid of Kshatriyas. So this is sometimes you get karma because you belong to particular class or particular country or particular dharma. So one Kshatriya made a mistake, right? Kartaviri Arjun, their sons came and killed his father, Parsuram's father, Richika Muni, and to take revenge he kills all these people. So that's the bad luck for the Kshatriyas. These other Kshatriyas did not do anything. It was Kartaviri Arjun who stole the cow, right? And then Parsuram came, and then he went and he fought and he killed Kartaviri Arjun and got the cow back. Then his sons came and killed the father. Then he went killing around everybody. So much killing. Revenge. Vengeance. So Bhagavan also does it. So he is an avatar Purusha. Ijacha Bhagavan Ramo yatra sprishto vikarmana lokasya grahayan isho yathanyogha punuttaye. So this place in Kurukshetra, Parsuram himself performed a yaga, sacrifice, to become free from all the sin he has performed. He has incurred in killing Kshatriyas. But he says, although he was not touched by anything because he is avatar, so how can he have sin? So he says, yatra asprishtopi karmana. Although he was untouched, still he did it. Why he did the yajna? He says, lokasya grahya nisho. That although he is Lord, he did it to set an example for others. That don't think you can kill and you just go scot-free. You are involved in the bad karma and you should do prayaschitta. So as other people do prayaschitta to get rid of their karma, he also did it. Papa apnodakatva mahi jaiti. So the sloka describes getting rid of the sin. महत्याम तीर्थयात्रायाम तत्रागन भारती प्रजा विष्णुश्च तथा क्रूर vasudeva hukadaya. So this was a great tirth-yatra, journey to the holy place. So people from all over Bharata, they came there. So the Vrishnis also came, Akrura came, Vasudev came, Ahuka. Ahuka is Ugrasena, who is the king. So he also came. All these people arrived there. Agana Jagmu Bharati Bharatya. Sayayur Bharata Tatkshetram Swamagham Kshapayishnavaha Gada Pradyumna Sambadya Suchandra Sukasaranehi. So people went there to make themselves free from sins. Gada, Pradyumna, Samba, they also went there. But Suchandra, Sukha and Sarana, they remained back to protect. As it says in the next sloka, Aste Niruddho Rakshayam Kritvarma cha Yuthapa Te Rathair Deva Dishunyam Bhai Haryascha Taral Palavai. So Aniruddha stayed back because somebody has to stay also in the kingdom, everybody cannot go. And he was accompanied by Kritvarma, who was the chief of the army, and then others were there, this Suchandra, Shuka, Sarana. These are sons of Krishna, so they all stayed back. So then they all came for the big journey. Aniruddho Dwarka Rakshayam Aste iti. Aniruddha remained for protection of Dwarka. Why? Tasya eva Sweta Deepas Tasya Palan Kartritva Vishnutvaina Prasiddhe. Because Aniruddha is in charge of Sweta Dvipa. There are three forms of Vishnu. Mahavishnu, which is Karnodakshaya Vishnu. And then there is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So Mahavishnu, expansion of Balram, Garbhodakshaya is of Pradyumna, and Kshirodakshaya of Aniruddha. So Aniruddha is in charge of the earth, Svetadvipa. So therefore he stayed back. Deva Dashanya Bhair Deva Vimanatulya. So there, now all these Yadavas, they are traveling in chariots, and their chariots are beautiful like the aeroplanes of the Devas. Gajair Nadadbhir Abhramair Nibhi Vidyadharadyubhi Virochante Mahateja Pathi Kanchan Malina. So he is describing how they moved. So they were moving with elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry. The elephants were making sound, nadadbhi, and they were looking very beautiful, like big mass of clouds moving. And men, infantry people, they were looking like Vidyadharas, all very brilliant Mahateja, and all dressed nicely with golden necklaces. Divyasrag vastra sannaha kalatrai khechara tatra snatva mahabhaga uposhya susamahita. They were all dressed in nice divine garlands, cloths, armors, accompanied by their wives, just like the Devas in the sky. They came and they took bath. So this is the practice when you go to the holy place. Then you go and take bath, you shave your head, fast. Also you fast during the eclipse time, right? Solar eclipse. Start fasting 12 hours before, fast to the whole eclipse, then you take bath, and then you eat. So they also did that. That's what he is describing. Tatra snatva, they took bath, Mahabhaga, great all these Yadavas, Uposya means fasted, Susamahita means fully focused. ब्राह्मणेभ्यो ददुर्धेनुर्वासः श्रगरुक्ममालिनी रामहृदेषु विधिवत् पुनराप्लुत्य वृष्णयः. It is also a custom that when eclipse is going on, you do charity. If you do any religious act during eclipse, it has more value. They say 100 times more. So if you do charity at that time, it has much more importance. If you do japa, chanting, stotra part. So they gave cows in charity to the brahmanas, dress, garlands. The cows were also dressed nicely and they had golden ornaments. So on that bank of Samanta Panchaka, they took bath again. Again, when the eclipse is over, then you take bath again. So they did that. Dadu Swannam Dujagrebhyo Krishno no Bhaktirastu iti Swam Chaitadanuggyata Vishnu Krishna Devata. And they gave nice feast to the brahmanas and they prayed that let us have bhakti to Krishna. And then taking their permission, they also ate all these Vrishnis whose devata is Krishna. And bhuktva upavishu kamam snigdha chayanghripangrishu tatragatanste dadrishu sruhat sambandhino nirpam. After eating, they happily sat in the shade of big trees there. And then they saw all other people who have come, because it is a whole festival and everybody is around the ponds. So other kings have come. Also people from Braj has come. So now they will meet them. Sruhat Sambandhino Nirpan, the kings who are their friends, relatives. So they saw them all there. So Punaraplutya Upragam Mukti Snanam Kritva. So it was described that they took bath first when they arrived there and they took bath again. So that is called Mukti Snan. Means when the sun is released from the eclipse, when you see it again, then you take again bath. So they also did that. And we'll stop here if there is any question. Gustavo.
Pranam Babaji. So, you were saying how all the Kshatriyas had to suffer because of one Kshatriya's bad actions. In the modern world, can you say the same thing about groups of people, like either their successes or their suffering has to do with kind of like group karma, or?
Well, success, you can't say success. Success is, yes, if they are helping each other, then it is possible. But generally you see that person belonging to one community commits crime, then people may come and attack the whole community. So that happens even these days.
Okay, thank you.
Roads.
Pranam Babaji, I have a question on the topic we discussed earlier of how Krishna is similar to a skilled doctor who gives us what we need in a particular situation. And my question is, if some significant change happens in our life, how do we tell if it was the result of Krishna's intervention or if it was just the result of our own karma.
How do you tell? If it is bad, it is your karma. If it is good, then it is his intervention. You can take it like that. So this
But
way.
like, what if we lose something? What if we lose something? Like, in
That's
my
what I'm
case, it
saying.
wasn't wealth, but like,
That's why I mean anything which is undesirable, that is your bad karma.
wait, anything which is undesirable, you said? Or?
Yeah. So this will keep you this will keep you humble. It is not possible to figure that out, but we
I see.
yeah. But we make conjecture in our mind that this is because of my bad karma. Because I'm suffering, and if something nice, then we say thank God. It's by His grace.
Okay.
Or if
That's
you,
a good rule of thumb.
yeah. Or if you are more advanced, then there is another stage where bad one is also His grace. And then you say, well, He's teaching me something or taking away some nonsense from me, purifying me. So that is even better.
I don't think I'm quite ready for the more advanced stage yet. I think I have to stick with the first thing you said.
Yeah, first one is good. That is the minimum. We should be.
Thank you, Babaji.
Sudhanshu.
Babaji. Babaji, this Brahma Sarovar is also part of this seventh concept?
Which Sarovar?
Brahma Sarovar Kurukshetra?
I don't know. I've not been there, so I cannot say. Are there?
Nowadays also when this solar eclipse happens, so a lot of gathering happens there.
I cannot say because I never went to Kurukshetra. Maybe it is. Okay.
Question from Mohini from the previous chapter. VCT explains that Sukadeva avoided describing the end of Raj Leela because Parikshit might have felt his Yadu dynasty was treated differently. But how could a devotee like him still be disturbed in that way when even a
Devotee also has a heart. Think devotee is piece of rock or what? People think that devotees don't have feelings. Even Krishna has feelings. Actually, bhakti means feelings. You have all the 33 sanchari bhavas, 8 sattvic bhavas, more feeling than anyone else. Now that is another thing, that their feelings are transcendental. But don't think that devotees don't have feelings.
So Parikshit would have been disturbed because they were also devotees and not based on my dynasty was treated like
That's
that.
why I'm saying they are not as you are thinking. Our thinking is a little bit skewed because of the preaching. We don't think, Krishna also thinks he's a cowherd and he favors cowherd. When the Brahmana ladies came, he says, go home. Why? Because they are not cowherds. So then you'll say, well, he's God, he should be equal to all. No, it's not like that. So Parikshit also identifies himself more with Yadavas than Brajvasis. Otherwise, why were they fighting? From devotee's point of view, as many things, Arjuna should not fight. He should be just renounced. Everything belongs to Krishna. Duryodhana also belongs to Krishna. Right? So we have some skewed ideas like that.